Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how I make gluten-free pizza. Let me tell you why I actually am into making gluten-free pizzas, because my daughter has celiac and she can't have any products that have wheat. I found that Bob's Red Mill gluten-free pizza crust is by far the best one that I know of, and my daughter loves it, so I stick to it. But there's another issue here. My daughter is also allergic to eggs, so we have to use the substitute. When I started making pizzas using this mix, it was really hard to spread it. I didn't know, it's not dough. It's more of a batter. There's a technique to putting it on the pan. And I'm going to show you two different ways to actually spread the crust, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to bake it and how to get good results with the pizza. The good part about this is that it's very freezable. So let's get to it. Let's start the pizza making process. This bag comes with everything you need besides the flaxseed or the eggs if you're using eggs. I'm going to demonstrate this without eggs. It's a little more complicated, so let's get to it. Now, of course, you have to use a 8-inch knife to to cut this thing, but whatever works. So it comes with yeast, and this is the packet. So we need 1.5 cups of warm water, and I tend to grab 100 degrees, and don't be ashamed to use a thermometer. So it's 99 degrees. I'm going to pour it in here. And mix it a little. So we're going to let this stand for about 5 minutes. In about 2 minutes I'm going to mix the flaxseed, and again I'm using Bob's gluten-free, and to keep this fresh I keep it in my freezer. Alright, so we'll need 2 tablespoons. 1. So now we're going to combine this flax meal with 6 tablespoons of water. Just mix it and let it rest. This will replace only the eggs, so we have to continue and with the recipe or the directions and just take out the eggs, put this instead. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, about 5 minutes here. The next step is to combine the flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Give it a nice mix so they're a little mixy. And now we'll add the dry ingredient here. Now really there's no easy way. They tell you to use a blender, but I just use a wooden spoon. Okay, so we have a wooden spoon, and at some point we're gonna just switch to our hands. So as you can see, this is really like a batter. So just mix it. And at this point I'm going to switch to my hands, and I washed them and everything's cool. So just mix this until you feel that it's well mixed. There's no dry spots. And as you can see, this is really not dough in the normal sense of how you expect dough that's made out of wheat to behave. Okay, so I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Let me let me first cover it, because we need this to rise for about 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. and we're ready to spread this dough on a pan. Now, as I promised in the beginning of the video, there's two methods that I do it. If I want to bake the pizza right away, I put it straight on the pan. Now, there's really no easy way to do it, but to actually spread it with your hands. Just have a little water in a cup. Wash your hands. Grab one of these non-stick pans and start spreading the dough. You want it to be as thin as possible. As you can see, I moisten my fingers, so it makes it easy to glide on it. So every time that you feel that it's sticking, just wet your fingers a little. And I'm just gonna go around like this. I'm gonna finish this, and we'll be right back. So this is really the hardest part of making this pizza, and it's spreading it. So the second method is much easier, but it needs a little it needs preparation. So you can't the second method you have to prepare like a day before. So this is how it looks when it's all spread. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven without cheese, without sauce, just until this is basically cooked. If it's still wet, just keep it in. I mean, it could be a little wet because it's still going to go with the sauce and the cheese for another about 10 minutes afterwards. But this pretty much needs to be cooked before we put on it the sauce and the cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 425 degrees in the middle rack, and I'm going to put it in total for about 10 minutes. Alright, so this was in the oven for about 11 and a half minutes at 425 degrees. I flipped it at some point. So at this point, what you have left to do is to put the sauce, and I'm going to link to my sauce recipe. Cheese, and I would put about 100 grams of cheese. Put some Parmesan cheese on first layer, spread a little Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese on top. And always, always, always shred your own cheese. Don't buy it pre-shredded, because they put some stuff in it so it doesn't clamp together, and it really makes it horrible. The second method involves using a Ziploc bag, and this one is a gallon size. The trick is we're going to fill this out, and we're going to basically smush it to a flat square. And let me demonstrate that. So I'm going to take the dough, and we should have enough. This dough should be able to. Okay. Now don't Ziploc this. I mean, you can zip it all the way here, but we need to have the air come out. So basically, what we're going to do is spread this out. And if it doesn't go all the way because you don't have enough left, it doesn't matter. This is not exact science. So this is way, way easier to spread the dough just like this, and also this also allows you to make a way thinner pizza crust than you would be able to otherwise. So just make sure you got a nice layer here. There, I managed to make it almost perfectly square. If we had a little more dough, we could fill this to be exactly a nice square. We could still make it. Anyway, at this point, after you're satisfied with the thinness and all that stuff, basically Ziploc it and put it in the freezer. You just need it to harden enough so you can peel the bag away. Let me show you how it looks when it's frozen. So let me get one that I already have in the freezer. I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, this is a frozen piece. And when it's frozen like this, this is going to be really easy to open, peel, let it de-thaw, put it in the oven, just like this one. Oops, hot. And there you have it, a simple way to not only store your dough, but also to make it easy to spread it out. Alright, so hopefully you found all this information useful. Really, there was only 2 tricks involved here. For the no eggs, basically just substituted with the flaxseed meal with 6 tablespoons of water. So basically just substitutes the eggs. As far as getting the pizza to be a good pizza, you have to pre-bake the crust until it's pretty much baked and dry. Now the second tip that I gave you was to, if you can plan ahead, just put it in a Ziploc to be able to spread it easily, and then put it in the freezer. And that's also a good way to just have something in advance. You can keep these for a long time. It should last for a long time in the freezer, especially if you have one that goes to sub-zero, like, you know, -20 or whatever. I'm gonna actually try to put some more gluten-free tips on my channel because you know, living with the celiac stuff for about 5 years now, I learned to accommodate my cooking techniques for my daughter. So so that's about it. Please thumb up, put in your comments, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.